What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. Peace and love, family. This is Chief Kalanago with another video. Just finished doing a build, and I'm doing another one. Like I said, doing another one back to back. I may drop one more, all right, only because within the next 72 hours, I will not be able to do any lives per se or in a lecture form. All right, it may just be an update as to what I'm doing, but not anything where I'm actually dropping information like that. All right, so with that being said, you already know, giving thanks and praise to the Great Spirit, giving thanks and praise to the ancestors. You know what I mean? I want to talk a little bit about, you know, some things that are happening in the political atmosphere, right? You know, there's a big wave that's going on for the impeachment of Trump, you know, and people tend to look at things or get into these situations from merely an emotional perspective. All right. They don't look at it from a logical standpoint. What do I mean by that? People don't realize that when it comes to politics, you can't deal with it from an emotional standpoint. Why? Because it's all about business. Okay. Politics has to do with commerce. The president is nothing but the CEO of a corporation. You feel me? So the CEO is, they always have a CEO for the corporation. Your vote is not making a difference, but they're playing on the emotions of the people. You feel me? So now that there's a president that's in office that's saying, nah, we're not just gonna make it all about business. All right, we're gonna shake some things up. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a Democratic. I'm not a Republican. I'm none of that. You feel me? Because I know it's all politics. But my eyes are open wide, and I see what Trump is doing. And for you to go to the extreme effort of impeaching this president, then you have to ask. It begs the question as to what is he doing right? Because for those of you who don't know and haven't realized, they're not doing anything for us. They're not doing anything for us. So for you to go to the extreme to get rid of a president, that means he's doing something right. You see, you got to think in the reverse, man. You have to look at things from a whole different perspective. So I'm going to read an article from CNN. All right. And once again, you know, when it's my opinion, I will let you know it's my opinion. All right. But read the article and analyze these things for yourself. You have a brain to think. Use it. Okay. Use it. So without further ado, I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to share my screen and let's get into this article from CNN. All right. Here we go. And this is from CNN.com. Donald Trump was elected to break the elite. Of course, they want to impeach him. That is the title and the heading of the article. And that was updated 3:34 a.m. Eastern Time. That was Friday, December 6th. Okay, literally, that was earlier, a few hours ago. All right. Now it reads. And of course, we have the editor, Scott Jennings, and CNN. When the global elite are aligned against him and laughing like the immature, cool kids you hated in middle school, President Trump is winning. That's what, you know, Scott Jennings, you know, I mean, the editor is pointing out, right? When the liberal law professors are neglecting their Thanksgiving turkeys to read congressional transcripts and snacking about Trump's 13-year-old son, Trump is winning. When the politicians are mad, so mad that they have shut down all policy making to impeach the president of the United States on what constitutional scholar Jonathan Turley called wafer thin evidence Trump is winning. And this is Scott Jennings right there. You have to remember, Donald Trump wasn't elected to fit in with these people, the political intellectual class, to make them happy or to become one of them. He was elected to break them And that's apparently what he has done. After Wednesday's House Judiciary Committee hearing featuring 3 liberal law professors and Thursday announcement by the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi that her conference is moving forward with the impeachment, the die is cast. Donald Trump will be the 3rd president in American history to be impeached by the House Representatives. And honestly, that's just fine with Trump supporters. What better evidence is there that you have shaken Washington to its core when the minders of a system you have come to despise are leveling the gravest punishment the system permits against the very president who is doing the shaking up. We can lawyer this to death, but for many Americans, this comes down to a simple observation. Trump said he was going to rattle their cages, and by golly, they seem rattled. Trump supporters have known since election night that this day would eventually come. After all, his sworn enemies have been openly promising its since before he was sworn into office. They have used words like resistance, a coup, insurance policy, and impeachment so often that now that they are actually doing it, the American people and Republicans especially are offering a collective one. Rueful analysts stare into television cameras, lamenting and wondering why Republicans aren't fleeing from the president over the impeachment hearings. He stands at 90% approval among his party in the latest Gallup poll. But there won't be a massive convulsion in public opinion because everyone has known for 3 years what was going to happen. Sure, some Democrats gamely argue that Pelosi didn't really want to go through with it, but she had to out of a sense of duty to the Constitution. But it's a half-hearted argument at best. It's true that Pelosi had no choice, although it's not because of Constitution. Rather, her party left flank and their inflamed grassroots activists overwhelmed her. This is one-sided partisan impeachment. It's the exact kind of thing Congressman Jerry Nadler, now chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, warned Republicans about in 1998 during the Bill Clinton's impeachment. But political party leaders almost always do what the bulk of their party's supporters want them to. Republicans, no matter how moderate, got in line to cut taxes and confirm an avalanche of conservative judges because that's what their activists expected. And what have Democrats wanted more than anything since Trump's election? Since the confirmation hearing for Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, since Trump made Twitter his private channel to the electorate, since the Mueller probe, since the Trump hotel story, since questions over Jared Kushner's secretary clearance, since you name it. The answer is obvious. To undo the 2016 election by any means necessary is a political itch that had to be scratched, and the Pelosi could hold of her tormented partisans no longer. So here we are, headed for a rushed, hyper-partisan, and futile exercise put on by the very elites Trump raised against to get himself elected in the first place. But for all the relief they might feel in the finally striking his blow against Donald Trump, I wonder, have these Trump opponents even considered what this impeachment signals to the American people? That partnership is more important than policy making. That House Democrats have no confidence in their party's ability to beat Trump in an election. And perhaps most alarmingly, that impeachment, once reserved for the gravest of situations is now just another tool to inflict a damage on their political opponent. All right, now I'm gonna let y'all be the judge of that article. Once again, post your comments in the link, all right, in the comment section. But I'm gonna again show you guys something to let you know that you are dealing with all businesses. It's all commerce. We have done this before, but in light of this, conversation, I think it's imperative that I point this out. So let us go to Title 28. Let us go to Title 28, Section 302. For those of you who keep missing this fact, it is not an opinion, it's a fact. And it's actually in the U.S. Code. So I'm not the one saying this. I'm not the one making this up. I'm going to show it to you, okay? Here we are. This is the 28 U.S. Code, Section 302. 3002, pardon me, and definitions. We are going to go all the way down to subsection 15. Let us go to 15. It says what? United States means what? United States means what? A federal corporation. So if the United States is a corporation, therefore the corporation have a CEO, which is a president. So for those of you who got your emotions all tangled up in politics, it is nothing but an illusion. It is a business. And Trump is a businessman. And he realized that the business has been bankrupt, all right? And the business is not doing well. The business is taking advantage of the people who are patronizing the business. So Trump went in there to shake things up. So if y'all cannot see that, and once again, I am no big politician, all right? I'm no scholar in politics. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, but I have eyes to see. Okay? I have eyes to see. So what? I'm not the one saying this. This is their own code. The United States is what? It means what? A federal corporation. I'm going to come back to the feed. So when you're dealing with politics, know what's going on. Okay? Stop allowing your emotions to blind you from the reality of what's happening. You feel me? Why do they want to impeach him? Why is that? Because he's doing things that they don't want him to do. If y'all really think that this corporation care about y'all got to be disillusional. Y'all got to be insane. Y'all got to be mentally, sick, literally, if you think that this corporation care about you. All they care is about money. That's it. Power, greed, oppression. That's what they care about. So here comes a man saying, nah, man, we can't be doing that. And that's enough. Enough is enough. But y'all can't see it though. Because y'all blinded by the propaganda. That's what you're blinded by. Opposed to looking at the situation for what it is. Okay? For what it is. How can you be a citizen of a corporation? Like, I'm going to ask you that question. For those of you who think you're United States citizens. Something is wrong with y'all, man. I didn't make this up. I'm just here pointing out the information. It's public information. This is for educational purposes. You feel me? Go once again. I didn't make up the United States codes. They tell you the truth, but people don't want to read and read with understanding. Right in their code, it tell you Title 28, Section 3002. Go down to 15A. It tells you what United States means or what? A federal corporation. So it makes sense. It's befitting for them to have a president. It is befitting for them to have a vice president. It is befitting for them to have managers. And that's what Congress is, managers. But it's a corporation, all right, with a president and a vice president. And of course, you have the board of directors. But also, there is another board of directors that's there as an opposition, just in case the president of that corporation is not doing what he's supposed to do for the business. So when I hear people like D.L. Hughley and all the people of the likes, talking about Trump and oh, Democrats is this and we supposed to be Democrats now. We ain't supposed to be none of them. We are supposed to be a people, all right, that's living on their land, all right, in peace and harmony without all the politics, with just a sheer respect for each other. Yes, we had our systems, but our system wasn't what it was today or what it is today. Okay? Exactly. There you go, Dupree. I agree. You feel me? People don't realize Trump is literally paving the way for the original people. People don't see that. You think Trump don't know who the real American Indians are? He knows. He knows. Once again, people think, let me tell y'all something, brothers and sisters. You have to realize how spiritual this is. Okay? You have to realize that. We are not in the year 2020. I mean, in the year 2019. We are not in the year 2019. 2019 is of the Gregorian calendar. But when we go into the Julian calendar is literally closer. It is more accurate to the calendar that we had. And I'm not talking about how old the earth is. I'm just talking about a certain time when time was being recorded and dates was being recorded. You feel me? Because there is cycles. And it starts over. All right. So the last cycle that we started, it wasn't 2019 years ago. It wasn't. That is from the Gregorian calendar to change certain events in history so that it would make sense. However, when you go to the Julian calendar, all right, Dupree, give me a call for sure, or text me or something like that because I'll be traveling. All right. But when you look at the Julian calendar, the actual year 2019 right now is 6,732. My people, realize what's going on and realize why there is such an influx of American Aborigines and people around the world waking up. Okay? Because this devilish system, they had 6,000 years to govern and rule the world. You see, yeah, a lot of you don't get it, but I'm hoping that you get it after this video. Okay? All this is prophecy. And when I say prophecy, it's because it was told by elders. It was told by seers. And they put it in books. So they were given the world to rule for 6,000 years. All right? And within the next 1,000 years, leading up to the 7,000 year, all right, we have to go through all the purging so that the original people could get back where they belong. So if y'all don't know what's going on, I'm breaking it down for y'all. Okay? So we are not in the year 2019. We are actually in the year 6,732. So the 6,000 year of them ruling the world, it's been up. It's been up. As a matter of fact, they are over 732 years over in power because we don't seem to get it. Because we don't seem to get what's going on. All right. So they have another, I would say what? You have 732 to, so how many more years do you need to get to 7,000? Let me see, 268. So we have another 268 years for them to completely, all right, be out of power. Another 268 years, unless we as a people decide to wake up right now. Okay? If we continue this prolonging and playing games and fighting and separation and dividing, then it's going to happen within another 268 years. It's just going to happen automatically because that's how it was supposed to be. Brothers and sisters, there is rules to this game, man. There is rules to this game. And people are blinded because they don't know. It's cool. But I'm here to open up your eyes, man. Let you see things from a spiritual perspective, from a metaphysical perspective. It is not just physical. We have to realize that. You feel me? So they have to change events because they know the time would come where the people are going to wake up. They're going to be enlightened. They're going to be hit with the Christ consciousness bug. All Christ means is anointed one. That's it. So everybody who's getting the bug right now, you are becoming anointed. You are being enlightened. So you are becoming the Christ. So you don't have to go in a book or anywhere to go look for Christ to be your savior. No, you are your savior. You are the Christ. But you cannot just claim that title and still be living or operating in a low vibrational state. You cannot be walking around like Jesus. Jesus is the lower man and Christ is the ascended man. It's two different energies, two different entities. But of course, people taking it literally. Okay, it's an allegory. It was a parable. That's why Jesus spoke in parables. Okay? But many of you are still walking around like Jesus, the man that's flawed, the man that's capable of being tempted. You have to crucify that person and become the Christ. That's why a lot of them are afraid of who I am, man, because they know Chief Kalinago is the truth. They know that. So they're afraid of that Christ energy. That's what it is. But anyway, this is not what this is about. So just so y'all know, okay, in 2019, you feel me, is not the real year that we are in. Okay, that is the Gregorian calendar. All right, the more accurate year is 6,732. And they had to rule the world rule the indigenous people, original indigenous people, for 6,000 years. All right, but because of the divide and conquer, when that 6,000 years was up, all right, we were not ready to take back our throne. We were not ready. So then a whole nother 732 years is in the making of them ruling and controlling the original people. All right. So it has taken some time for people to wake up. All right, to get that bug, that enlightenment. All right, that's literally all over the planet right now. So, however, if we get it together right now, they have to step down. That is the natural order of things. That is the law. Okay, galactic law. Okay, there is galactic law, and there is common law, and there is what you call government law. Okay, folklore is what you call folklore. Let me show y'all again if y'all think I'm playing. All right, because like I tell people, when I do things, I like to show and prove what I'm talking about. All right, let me share my screen again. All right, let me share my screen again. Because I like to show and prove. I don't just like to talk about it. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. All right, let me go here. I don't know why, you know, every time this bang is taking over my computer, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me go to I want to go to google.com. Every time, you know, it's going to take me to something else. But I'll deal with that later when I'm done. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the definition of law, L-O-R-E. Now, I've told y'all that before, okay? But, you know, I'm going to show it to you again. It's pronounced
lore.
Lore, okay? So before there was law, L-A-W, okay? Let me break down a few allegories for you, all right? Before Moses, Musa, all right? Before he went up in the mountains, all right? You had what was called law, all right? Law. What is law? L-O-R-E is a tradition of traditions and knowledge on a subject or held by a particular group, typically passed what? From person to person by word of mouth. That was the law. All right, because what? The Most High wrote the laws in the hearts and the minds of men. And when I say men, men constitute both genders. Okay? The Most High, whatever you subscribe to, you call your Most High. This is not what this is about. That's you, do you. But what I'm saying is the Most High, all right, wrote the laws. Okay? They wrote their laws and the laws of the universe. They put it in the hearts and minds of men. And men constitute of both genders. You feel me? So that was the law, the L-O-R-E. The L-O-R-E was the galactic, all right, the universal law that was written, that was given, it was spoken. Even before it was written, it was spoken. Every written word came from a thought. So therefore, the thought had to come first. So that's the galactic law. And these people know that there are spiritual laws that they have to abide by. But we as a people, we are not in tune with that. So I'm breaking this down for y'all. Okay? So from the universal laws, all right, then you have what's called the law, the L-O-R-E, that was passed down for what? A body of traditions and knowledge on a subject held by a particular group, typically passed what? From person to person by a word of mouth. Other words, it was a tradition, an oral law, L-O-R-E. However, Musa had to go to the mountain to get that law, that L-O-R-E, and then wrote it down. And then it became the L-A-W, that law. You feel me? So within law, period, whether it's O-L-O-R-E or L-A-W, okay, the original people have to be restored. They have to be restored. Okay? They have to be restored, family. So that's prophecy. So once again, just to reiterate, they had 6,000 years to rule. And within that 6,000 years, the next 1,000 years would be the Reformation age, the awakening of the people. But we have been so disenfranchised, so divided, okay, so infiltrated that it's still 737 years and they're still ruling over their time. But within that, after the 6,000, we have 1,000 years to completely, have them stand down. So now it's about 732 years going into that 7,000 year. So it's another 268 years that will go if we don't get it together. Then it would go into its full maturity or duration into its 7,000 year, and then all of a sudden they would just get off their throne. So it's going to happen automatically anyway. That's why I tell people, regardless of how you look at it, we are victorious. We are going to win anyway. We may lose a few battles, but we are going to win the war because it is written. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. That's why I am not too worried or too concerned. Okay? But at the same time, we are still dealing with some suffrage in this day and age. So my thing is this: why suffer the next 268 years when we could start working on things right now? And that's my point. You feel me? So I just have to bring that information to y'all. You feel me? All right. So what about the Most High? He, my brother, our Creator in the Bible, not Jesus. We Hebrews know. Well, to keep it real with you, Mikey G13. I don't subscribe to calling the universal source any name. All right, because how can you name something that doesn't have a name? All right, people keep talking about the Most High as a he. You feel me? How if you go look in the Bible, right? The Most High was manifested in this, whether you call him Jesus or Yeshua, right? If Yeshua had a mother, then that means he was born. That means his mother came before him. So we got to stop talking about the Great Spirit as a he. You feel me? I mean, because it doesn't have a gender. It's actually an energy. And from that energy, that intelligence, so to speak, from that intelligence learn how to create. All right. And within that intelligence, there is an attribute, okay, called a masculine and a feminine energy. And it realized when it came together, it could create. So therefore, deities were created. So how can you have a deity that's a man, but you don't have a deity that's a woman? So to answer your question, Mikey, I'm G13. I don't subscribe to that. That's a patriarch. That's a patriotic mindset of taking the woman out of the picture. And I'm never going to subscribe to that. You feel me? So whatever you want to call that great spirit, that's on you. You feel me? You know, for too long, they have used religion to separate the people. Oh, well, that's not the name. Oh, well, what did the great spirit say even in your Bible? If you're Hebrew, what did the great spirit say? I am that I am. So how are you going to tell me I am that I am means Heya? How are you going to tell me that? Heya is a chant. Heya is a chant, just like those are just chants to evoke certain energies. You feel me? So I could only tell you the truth, man. For me, like I said, I'm not here to appease people. How can you name something that's nameless? How can you identify something that's unidentifiable? How can you do that? Anytime you could describe the great spirit, anytime you could put the great spirit in a book, anytime you could take the great spirit and give it a personage, then you're worshiping a golden image, fam. You are worshiping a golden image. You see what I'm saying? Mike said, Exodus, I am is our creator. Well, fam, I am is not a name. I am just basically means everything. So once again, that's why I don't like to get into this Bible stuff, because people get too emotional with it and too personal. You feel me? How can you name something that doesn't have a name? You feel me? So like I said, man, it's to each his own. If that's what you subscribe to, brother, that's fine. This is not about challenging your religious beliefs, because at the end of the day, it's all beliefs. How can you prove to me conclusively that the name of the creator is Heya without using a book? All I'm going to ask you is this. What is the name of the creator when it comes to a plant? What does an animal call the creator? You see what I'm saying? What does an animal call the creator? Do you think an animal go around talking about Heya? No, the animal just exists and acknowledge the universal source. Now that's the truth. So everything else is an interpretation of what men think it is. You feel me? That's what it is. It's an interpretation of what men think it is. Family, the great spirit doesn't talk. It is the creation of the great spirit that talk. Again, I could only break it down to y'all the truth. Now you decide what you want to do with it. You feel what I'm saying? The great spirit doesn't talk. The great spirit is not a man or a woman. The great spirit is intelligence, the all. And within the all, okay, there is creation. That's it. It's only the creation that's able to talk and process things the way we do. But the great spirit don't talk, man. Don't let nobody fool you with that, man. You feel me? No, brother, spirituality is religion. People keep talking about, oh, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. Let's go look at the etymology of spirit, because let's get into this. Etymology of spiritual. Let's see if we could find the etymology of spiritual. The etymology of spiritual. All right, spiritual adjective of concerning of the spirit, especially in what? Religious aspects. So how can you say you're spiritual without being religious? I mean, come on, like, for one, there is nothing wrong in being religious, family. Nothing wrong with that. The question is what religion that you subscribe to that makes the difference. Oh, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. What is spiritual? What does spiritual means? Spiritual pertains to the spirit. So let's go look at the definition of spirit. The etymology of spirit. Spirit, animating or a vital principle in man and animal. That's all the spirit is. It's animating or a vital principle. It's a principle that's in man. That's the spirit. All right, spirit, soul, and directly from Latin spiritus. All right, respiration, the breath of the great spirit, the breath of life. Hence, life. The life is spirit. All right. So let me come back here again. Oh man, I thought I was showing I was sharing my screen when I was showing that. Let me share the screen again. All right. I'm sharing the screen here, and let's go back to the etymology of what was I looking at? Spiritual. The etymology of spiritual. The etymology of spiritual, what? Concerning of the spirit. That's all spiritual is, man. People making it seem like spiritual is this big cult and you know. Okay, it's all spirit means it pertains to the spirit. Oh, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. No, especially religious aspects. So spirituality, if you want to call it any type of, how would I put it? It is a religion. It is a religion. So we are religious. Well, I could only speak for myself. I am religious. The question is, when you say you are religious, what do you mean, Chief? Well, you know what? I subscribe to anything that concerns the spirit, because that's all spirituality is. So let us go look at the etymology of spirit now. Okay, spirit, what? Animating or vital principle in man. The breath, respiration, the breath of life. Hence, inspiration of breath of life. Hence, life. So that all the spirit is life. I just showed it. So the spirit is life. So when you speak about spirituality, what are you talking about? You are talking about life. So why do people think spirituality is this big, change from religious to spiritual? No, it's the same thing. Religion is about life. Life is about religion. The spirit is about the breath of life. The spirit is about life. So therefore, the spirit is life. Spirituality is only about what concerns life. Man, I mean, I can't apologize for bringing the facts to y'all, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. The spirit is life. And all spirituality is what concerns life. That's it. That's it. Okay? That's all spirituality is. You feel me? So with that being said, how can you name something that doesn't have a name? Something that doesn't have a beginning or an end. How can you name it? Now, when you come to the creations have a beginning. Okay, and I'm talking about in a physical form, not in its original form. We never had a beginning in our original form. We always existed. However, in the manifestation of the physical man, you see what I'm saying? Then we had a beginning. But there has never been a time that man has never been in existence. You feel me? Now, brother, I'm not saying that nobody's disrespectful. Again, whoever is a Hebrew or what they are, me personally, I'm not a Hebrew. You see what I'm saying? So when you say we, you got to speak for yourself. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just all I'm just saying. I'm not a Hebrew. You did. If you are, much respect to you. Once again, too many of us use these things to separate ourselves. You feel me? That's just all I'm just saying. I'm not disputing the fact that your belief is wrong. You see what I'm saying? I'm not disputing that. That's your belief. and you're entitled to that. If you feel you're a Hebrew, fine. If you feel you're, you're how would I put it? What is the different? Whether it may be Judaism, whether it may be Christian, whether it may be Buddhism, whether it may be Islam, whatever you feel you want to subscribe to as a religion. There is no way you could say you're a Hebrew and tell me you don't believe in religion. Come on, man. Because it all pertains to religion. And when you look at religion, you see we have to break down words, family. Let us go again. Let me share my screen again. Let me share my screen again. All right? Because a lot of us, a lot of people, man, it's called cognitive dissonance, man. You did. Let me share my screen again. All right? Let us go look at the etymology of legion. Legion. Okay? Legion. Because you have to realize when you get into things, you have to know what it is. The real meaning of legion is what? 12th century, a Roman legion. A legion, a squad, a band, a company, a Roman legion, legionem, that's in Latin. Roman legion, a body of soldiers, a levy of troops, together to choose, pick out, select, to collect, gather, tucker. The common sense is to pick, but it's unclear whether the use here is picking up or picking out. Now, everything else, it will tell you, you'll go into it, but we have to look at first what it is. Right here in the very beginning, a legion is what? A Roman legion, a squad, a company, a Roman legion, a legion of body of soldiers. So therefore, when you have a religion, it is the reinstitution of a legion. You feel me? So all these different religions is literally a reinstitution of a legion, a body of soldiers. Come on, man. It's a body of soldiers with ideologies, concepts that is being put on the people. You feel me? So if you are truly enlightened, then that means you don't have any, you're not part of any religion, not even spirituality. Because spirituality is a religion. Man, like I said, man, there's a lot of understanding, man, that needs to be had, man. A lot of understanding that needs to be had. You feel me? So at the end of the day, what is a legion? A legion is a body of soldiers. So therefore, when you look at religion, why do you think religion was given to the world through bloodshed, through the sword? Because it was the legion reintroducing legion into parts of the world, and they call it religion. Because people stood up and fought those legions, okay? And they lost power. So now they have to come back and fight, come back together, build their armies. The legions had to build their armies, and then what? Now we're going to go across the world, man, and bring the sword and reinstitute these legions to control people. Hence, it's called religion. It's a form of control, man. So how can you speak of a book that came from men and tell me it's the ultimate truth? When the truth of the matter, the Great Spirit don't have a book, man. You were speaking about the creations of the Great Spirit, fam. You feel me? The creations of the Great Spirit is what instituted all of this. Whether you call it Hebrew, whether you call it, Islam, I don't care what you call it. It was the creation of the Great Spirit that instituted all these things. That stuff don't exist where we came from, fam. Do you think there's a Bible in the mental realm? Come on. So that's why we have to stop focusing on all these things that separate us. Because people, people are going to continue to force their beliefs that was given to them by man. All right, let's just be real. It came from man. It came from the thoughts of man. No, I'm not saying there's no credibility to it. I'm not saying that. But anytime you are speaking of gods, you are speaking of creations. The Great Spirit is not a God. The Great Spirit created gods in the sense of what you call a God. Okay? Gods are the creations, but the Great Spirit is not a God. The Great Spirit is the all. And within the all, creation came creation. Man, I mean, it's there for us to see, fam. It's there for us to see. So by no means I'm attacking your religion. So don't call yourself a Hebrew and tell me you're not religious. That's a contradiction. And don't tell me you're practicing spirituality and tell me you're not religious. It's a form of religion. Because they took the concept of life and turned it into what's called spirituality, which is a religion. It was a legion. It was a legion. You dig? So until we are able to free our minds, fam, until we're able to free our minds, we are always going to be subjected and be enslaved by other people's doctrines. We are always going to be enslaved by that. Be a free thinker, man. Be like the animals in nature. Just be. Even the animals got more sense than the majority of us. And I'm saying us, because I'm not going to take my sense out of the equation. I'm not going to take myself out of the equation. But I'm looking at nature and I'm learning. That's why everything in nature came before the man and the woman. Because we had to look at nature as the ultimate teacher. That's why she's called Mother Nature. So until you are able to take the concept of all religions out of your mind, okay, and then all the concepts of calling the Great Spirit a name, then you are still indoctrinated. And there's nothing wrong if you are indoctrinated, as long as it's making you a better man or a woman. By all means, be indoctrinated. Indoctrination is nothing but someone who subscribes to a certain doctrine. You feel me? There is nothing wrong in being indoctrinated. I wouldn't mind being indoctrinated if what's being taught or the doctrine is uplifting humanity. If the doctrine is teaching people, is enlightening the people, then I don't mind being indoctrinated. But when you are indoctrinated by systems, all right, that's teaching you one thing, but at the same time not allowing the people to be, then I cannot be a part of that. I cannot be a part of that. But once again, I can't take that away from you. I have to respect what you subscribe to. Every man and woman have a personal relationship with what or who they call the Most High. You feel me? That's a personal relationship. And that's why I have a problem with people just putting everybody in a box. You did. You feel me? All right, let me see if I could pull up indoctrination. All right, etymology of indoctrination. Let me share the screen. All right, etymology of, let's look at the etymology of doctrine first. Doctrine. Okay, a doctrine, a body of principles, dogmas. Isn't that what I just told y'all? In religion or field of knowledge. Principles, ideologies, dogmas. That's what doctrine is. So indoctrination is someone okay, or the process of subscribing to a certain doctrine. So let us go look at indoctrination. 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 Instructions, noun of action, indoctrinate, in reference to imbuing with opinions or ideology. Okay, a doctrine is, again, it's based on opinions and ideologies. It doesn't make it factual. So everything people are talking about is either an opinion or it's an ideology. Here we go again. Indoctrinate. Let's look at the etymology of that. Formerly also indoctrinate, to teach. Formed as if from Latin, but there seems to have been no word indoctrinaire. Perhaps a modeled on French indoctrinaire, or extended from earlier, now obsolete verb indoctrine. Indoctrine, to instruct, meaning to imbue with an idea or an opinion, first recorded in 1832. All right, so it's just beliefs, opinions, ideologies. That's what a doctrine is. So to be indoctrinated by those ideas and those dogmas and those ideologies, that means you are indoctrinated. Okay? So that's what it is. You feel me? That's what it is. All right? But anyway, I'm about to conclude this build. I mean, I wasn't supposed to go there anyway, but you know, I just like to flow. You feel me? And you know, that's just what happens. You feel me? But when you free your mind, when you know that you are the totality, when you know that you are, limitless, when you know that you are immortal, all right, then you start subscribing to all these ideologies, these doctrines. They're all doctrines, family. I don't care what you call it. It is all doctrines, opinions, and ideologies that was given to people by man. That's all it is. Okay? That's all it is. Okay? That's all it is. All right? And it's okay. It's okay. A lot of people are still growing. All right? But once you have come to a mature stage of knowing who you are, then you're going to let go all the labels. Because how can you be something else when you are that something else? Okay? We are the essence of the Great Spirit manifested individually. You dig? So how can we separate ourselves from the all when the all is in you? People keep confusing the physical man with the spiritual man. And when I say the spiritual man, I'm talking about that breath of life. Life. We cannot separate ourselves from life. You feel me? Know thyself. Know thyself. So every sect, every religion, okay, is something that man created to create separation. That's it. To separate themselves. You feel me? But there is one universal mind that still exists. And we have to realize that, all right? Anyway, I see Quan and the rest, and they're on a whole different level, and that's good. So y'all continue to build. I appreciate the build. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. All right. Let's continue to build. I like the fact that we could get on a platform and respect each other's opinions. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? So once again, I am not here to tell you that you're wrong, brother, Mikey. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. By all means, you know what? Subscribe to your higher self, or what higher source that you think or you believe in. You feel me? But just know that there are many people who see it for what it is. You feel me? And when you truly know the truth, you will know that the Great Spirit doesn't have a name. Okay? You would know that. Everything is just a chant. Words are chants. Words are spells. Every word is a spell. That's why, from a very young age, they tell you what spell this and spell that, because you're first learning to articulate words. You did. So everything is a spell. Every word is a spell. Every word that you utter is a spell. Okay? It is a spell. So those spells and those words, okay, are used to evoke a certain emotion. So let me just prove my point to you again. All right. Let me prove my point to you again. Let us go look at the etymology of God. Okay. And I'll validate exactly what I'm talking about. Let us go look at the etymology of God. Okay. Etymology of God. Okay. Here we go. And there's all right. Also God. English God, supreme being, deity, the Christian God. Okay? That's why our ancestors in the Americas didn't use that word God. Because when they came to convert us, okay, when they came to convert us, our ancestors realized, nah, we're not going to use that word. So the closest thing in translation to English was the Great Spirit. Because we realized that God wasn't sufficient enough, okay, to identify the magnitude or the superbness, if that's a word, okay, of the Great Spirit. So our ancestors didn't want to use that word God. So they used Great Spirit because they realized God was only pertaining to the Christian God. Okay? Now it says image of God, God-like person. So a God-like person could be a God. That's why, you have so many gods in the Bible and lords. That's why in ancient times they used to, how would I put it? They used to deify, okay, certain entities. They made them gods. But let us come down a little more. It says what? But some trace it to pi, go to, poured, all right? Poured. I'm talking about now we are going back to its foundation and root before the whole Christian concept. It says what? It goes back to what? To poured, to pour a libation. You feel me? Referring to what? Burial mound. Okay? So they took that whole concept of our way of life, okay, and they put it in one word and called it God. To pour a libation, to evoke. You feel me? I know that it says to evoke as well. To invoke what? To call or invoke. Here we go. And that's what our ancestors did. They call and invoke the energy of the Great Spirit, and our ancestors who transitioned. So when they came and they saw that, they say, you know what, man, how are we going to take this whole practice, all these rituals that these indigenous people are doing, how are we going to take that and put it in one word? And they came up with the word God. But our ancestors didn't want to vibe with that. So they say, okay, you know what? We would rather use the Great Spirit. But the further down you go, it will tell you originally, okay, a nature or noun in Germanic, the gender shifted from what? Masculine after the coming of the Christianity. So therefore, the whole concept of God was always feminine. Okay? It was always feminine. Even Allah was Alet. Okay? So when y'all keep talking about he, and the Mosai is he and all that, bruh, it was always feminine. It was almost feminine. So when you speak of God, okay, when you speak of God, you feel me? When you speak of God, you are speaking of to evoke, to pour libations, to invoke an energy. You feel me? So when people speak of God, I tell people, when you say God, what do you mean? When I tell people I'm a God, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm invoking the energies of my ancestors and the Great Spirit. Man, y'all got to learn this, man. Don't use the word God and put it outside of yourself. Because the word God means to invoke. My question is, when you say God, what are you invoking? Are you invoking the spirit of the people who came here to oppress us? That's what you're doing. So for me, when I say I'm a God, I am speaking of me as a God in the context of I'm invoking the spirit of my ancestors. That's what I mean when I say I'm a God. And my ancestors know exactly what I'm talking about. You feel me? Family, you got to open up your mind. Okay? Your mind is limitless. Your mind is the most powerful tool that you have. And anytime you could take your mind and limit it to just opinions and ideologies, which is doctrines. In other words, once you subscribe to the doctrine, then you have been indoctrinated, then you are limiting yourself. You are limiting the power of your mind. Your mind is limitless. The life of your mind is immortal. So how are you going to put yourself in a box? You feel me? So at the end of the day, the Great Spirit doesn't have agenda. However, okay, well, let's put it this way. So in essence, the Great Spirit is not a gender. However, the attribute of genderism, meaning that the attribute of masculine and feminine exist in the Great Spirit. However, the Great Spirit is not a gender. You feel me? You dig? It is only within the creation. Okay, it is only within the creation that we have the manifestation of male and female gods. You feel me? So, with that being said, let us just conclude, because like I said, whenever it comes to religion, again, people take that personal. So that's why I don't like to get into that. But I just wanted to greetings, America. But I just wanted to personally show you the original meaning of the words. Okay? Show you the original meaning of the words, so you know what you're dealing with. All right? That's it. And that's all I'm going to do, is just present the information as it is and do what you want to do with it. All right? But everything that you speak is literally a spell. Okay? And then there are certain words that you use, certain vibrations to invoke the energies. Okay? So hey ya is a word of invocation. Just like that's another word of it. That's another word of invocation. You feel me? So if y'all want to learn the truth, man, that's fine. But if you want to continue to live the illusion, that's fine as well. You did. You feel me? So, thank you for being a part of the build. I hope you guys have a wonderful and a marvelous and a blissful day. And but again, there's nothing wrong in saying hey ya, okay? Because hey ya is, once again, hey ya is a chant. It is a chant to invoke that energy of the Great Spirit and our ancestors. You feel me? So at the end of the day, when you look at, martial arts, okay? And hey, I didn't come from the Hebrew, brother. All right, just so you know. Okay, so that is something that it's part of the breath of life. When you look at martial arts, okay? When you look at martial arts, what do they say? All right, when you punch, you got to punch with the breath of life. Hiya! You see, so that's not Hebrew, that's universal. Let's get that straight. All right, so like I said, we have to get into the true knowledge of what it is. You feel me? When you are punching from your gut and you hit, boom, with that breath of the Great Spirit, you say what? Hiya! You see what I'm saying? You are invoking that power, that energy, just so y'all know. Okay? So once again, I could only drop the knowledge. Y'all do what y'all want with it. That stuff is universal. You feel me? It's universal. Because one group claim it, it doesn't mean that it's theirs. It's universal. Okay? Like I said, go back to martial arts again. You feel me? Go back to martial arts again. All right? But anyway, you guys, we will talk a little later. And I got some traveling to do, like I said, within the next 48 to 72 hours. So I'll be on the road. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, I'm picking up the car today, so I'll be making some moves. All right. But I will definitely touch base with you guys. And like I said, I'm just here to drop information to teach our brothers and sisters how to free their minds. That's it. Stop limiting your mind, man. Once we stop limiting ourselves, now I'm not coming to Florida, at least not this time around. All right, but definitely, once we stop limiting ourselves, we are going to realize our true potential. You feel me? We are going to realize our true potential. That's what we are going to do. You feel me? Maybe in a couple of hours, I may or may not do another build and call it, building the network. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get on the live, and all the brothers and sisters that's in the same territory, I would like you guys to exchange emails so y'all can start building as indigenous brothers and sisters. You feel me? So with that being said, I may or may not do that. If I have some time, I will. All right. But if not, I will do it another time. You feel me? So it's imperative that we unite as a people in whatever territory that we're in. You feel me? We have to do that. We have to do that. Okay? We have to network. You feel me? Because we have to, again, all our differences, we have to put that aside. Halito, Brother Isa. All right. All our differences, we have to learn to put that aside. All right. And I'm talking about all our differences in terms of religion, spirituality, any type of religious, concept. Let us put that aside for now and focus on what we have in common. And that is, we are indigenous. We are the original indigenous people of this land. And let's focus on that. You feel me? Let's focus on that. And once we're able to unite from the perspective of what we have in common, I think we as a people will be able to make some serious strides. Okay? Because like I said, they have another 268 years to rule our empire. And the truth of the matter is, we don't have to let it wait that long, because it was actually up 6,000 years ago. So literally, they are 732 years, behind. Okay? Or so you feel me? So we got another 268 years to go for that 7,000 year dead mark. It has to end within 7,000 years, period. All right. But it was supposed to be up 6,000 years ago. That extra 1,000, it was just put in place so we, the original people, could start putting our things together and start putting our affairs together and stepping up to the plate. And that's what we are doing right now. So we are right on time. Okay. We are right on time. So continue to grow, continue to teach, continue to love, continue to support each other. Your brother, Chief Kalinago, will talk another time. Peace and love.